Hi guys, I just wanted to talk about what I think is an important part of the ascension process and or all the spiritual work that you do in general, which is connecting to the earth and connecting to the heavens. You don't have to think about the heavens as any particularly special thing other than it's just the expanded, exploded cosmos, you know? And when you're working in an actual alchemical way, everything has its own energy to it. And so when you do that and you place your mind on that, then it has a certain energy that you need to open up to and allow that to come into your system. Just as important, of course, is grounding or earthing or opening up to the earth. That can be thought of as a sort of slipping into darkness kind of feeling in the best way. It's the womb, the mother, the void, all of that. Uh, and it can't be feared and shouldn't be. This is the blackness from which we all arise. You start out in the void as pure potentiality, just potential. There's no form. There's not even the possibility of form. The possibility is like later, you know. And when we actually put our minds, our consciousness on these forces, we connect with them and start processing the energy through our systems. That's the point that I want to talk about in like a greater sense is are all of the things that you have to do in an alchemical fashion or an alchemical practice or any type of yogic practice, tantric practice, kundalini, all of that. You're working with specific energies and you mix them. And the only way that you can mix them is by thinking about it. So like in regular meditation or whatever, you might just be contemplating something like compassion, right? The point of that, though, is not to just sit there and be like, yeah, compassion's really great. I'm going to think about it for 2 hours. That's not meditating on compassion. The point is to hone your powers of concentration so that you can just rest your attention, your focus on the concept of compassion itself. And what that does to accomplish, what that accomplishes is what I was saying before. It connects you to that field of actual physical energy. Then you start to process that energy through your system. Um, so that's what you're doing when you're going to open up to the earth. That's what you're doing when you're going to open up to the heavens. You place your attention on that. The in between and to get the energy moving in between is when you have your intention, really. You know, my intention is that my consciousness is going to slip into the womb of the earth and sort of start to disappear. So you have this sort of unconscious conscious experience because the more that you actually do that, the more your consciousness will connect with the earth frequency, vibration, movement, spin, whatever you want to call it, and the more your conscious mind will start to slip away. And so it's this interesting little dichotomy between concentrating on something in order to connect physically, energetically with it, and allowing your consciousness to just be aware. And if it is in a place where it is less conscious, quote unquote, like the womb of pure potentiality energy, the null point, as it were, then you're going to find that your consciousness starts to change, you know, and certain aspects of it will fall away. So you have to be a magician. You have to be aware. You have to be able to know that the energy is changing, or that your mind, your concentration is slipping, that your powers are, wavering or whatever, and then you have to return back to the intention, return back to the point of focus, whatever that may be. Um, every qigong exercise, or rather every qigong set, I guess, form, extended form, is going to start with hands down here to the sides and feeling the long hands, and your fingers become long and they're dipping down into the earth, and you kind of have this slow feeling of this like laboriousness, and everything is much more lumbering and large large, and you can feel your hands going all the way down, like melting, stretching down into the middle of the earth, and you just kind of like follow that train down as you can attach your mind to so many different things that will help you in meditation. So what I'm doing in this little series right here is just trying to pick out some points that will help people along the way. The main point of this is how you do these things. I say it is so important to open up and connect to the earth. It is so important to open up and connect to the cosmos or the heavens. How do you do that? You know, like, well, honestly, the only way that you do that is by intending to do it, you know. But when you're doing it in a practical way, when you're sitting down, when you're meditating, when you're about to do alchemical work or energy work or whatever, how do you do that stuff first? Concentrate. Intend is the next step if you even want to do any intention. All you really need is the focus. Be completely aware, and so you allow your mind to be bright and open and light and just not judging anything. The eyes can be very important to sort of get that sense. You can do one of the Akadawa exercises, like expanding your field of vision, allowing lots of light to come into your field, and not just slipping down into this complacency or torpor, which is one of the pitfalls of meditations. And like, I think Buddhist and yogic practice, they talk about the dangers, or not the dangers, but the hurdles that you're gonna have to struggle when you struggle to get over when you first start meditating. And one of them is, you know, that sluggish feeling of not having any energy in your head. So what can help that is enlightening it, you know, actually having lots of light around, bringing more light into your space, opening your eyes a little wider. And I don't just mean physically like that, like I just mean like backing up and letting stuff come into your space. More energy that will help you stay awake. Okay. And then once you have that state, then you place your consciousness or your concentration on an object. This is like 101 meditation, right? Anything that when it comes to this, you will place your attention on that object. The point in deeper practices like jhana practice and you know, higher states of meditation is that even that step one, concentrating on an object, and it does not mean concentrate, go so tight and wrapped around this thing. Like, that's not it. There's an aspect of your consciousness that will cling to the object, and an aspect of your consciousness that will just be completely open and aware, which to me is like the yin aspect of just that simple mode of consciousness, paying attention to something, and you'll feel it flow in a physical way. You'll feel that your consciousness is flowing. Everything is always moving, even if it's a static object. And then once you get that, you realize that you have to be as concentrated and aware without really clinging, and allowing that energy to just continue to move. Then you sort of feel both currents at the same time. And that's the essence of like getting into any type of concentration and melding with an object. You're aware of the fact that it's moving, but at the same time, your consciousness isn't clinging to the movement along its path. It's just aware of the movement and allowing it to be. And when you do that, you sort of harmonize with the frequency of your meditation object, and you experience light samadhi, or access concentration, which means you have a union with the object. And that it is a physical union. It's an energetic feedback loop. You've figured out, you've concentrated on it for long enough, you've allowed it to do its thing, you've realized that trying to concentrate on it, you're interpolating your own, you know, your own view of what the object is. Your left brain is coming in and going, no, it's this, no, it's this, no, it's this, I experienced it this way, I experienced it this way. And so you realize, oh, never mind, that all that aspect of consciousness is trying to do is to be aware of bright things as I'm concentrating on this object. And the other aspect of it is just moving and flowing, and the interplay between those two things is the sort of rhythm of that specific meditation object, or the spin of that object. Pretty complicated, I guess, but the point is just that when you're paying attention to these things, you get into the groove of it, even just by concentrating on it with your mind. You know, there are other ways to get into the groove of something. You can actually start to feel for the energy of it, and that can be part of it too. When I'm feeling like the energy that's flowing through my body, I'm not like, okay, I'm gonna direct it this way and stuff. I'm like, I'm allowing it to move through me, and you're just very aware of it, and then the movement continues. You know, that's a big important point for me in the process of any of this stuff. Is you have to be aware of the different aspects of your mind that are occurring right then. Um, Other than that, though, you focus on the void. The most simple way I can think about it is to just think of complete empty black space below you, you know, and you just allow your mind to just slowly sink in there. You can do some concentration. You can do, you know, like I'm allowing this mind to sink into this mind, and then this mind to sink into this mind, the lower dantian, and then those all three can sort of like just melt into the void, and you sort of just sit there in this perfect nurturing emptiness. And emptiness is nurturing. It's hard to think of it that way, but when you do go down into the void or to the earth or whatever, you start to feel that everything is just already given. You know, because there's no giving and there's no receiving. It's just already there. It's pure potential. It's pure nurturing energy. It's great. Um, and then once you do that, then you put your concentration up here. If you want to keep it closer to the body, you can work with the Earth Star to connect to the Earth in that fashion and to the void. And you can use the Soul Star chakra to connect to the cosmos and all that stuff out there. One is yin and one is yang. These are the things that are most important to me because once you get these flows going, and let's make no mistake, they are never pure. Pure yang energy, actual pure yang energy would kill you. And so would pure yin energy. It's just too much, you know. So everything that comes through you is filtered in some way, or it's yin on top of yang, or yang in the middle of yin, or whatever. So you get all these variations, but it's so important. Just those two places. When you open those things up and you connect that, you are as equally low and in the primordial ooze as you are high and spread out amongst the entire universe. This is how your body and your consciousness must be in order to properly ascend, you know, in order to get these energy bodies, the finer, more, the higher refinements of the energy bodies as we're continuing to do this work. In order to get to those places, you have to really allow yourself to sink down. You have to really allow yourself to expand outward and allow those energies to come through you. Everything in between regular chakra system is basically about internal bodily mixing, you know, whether it has to do with the very low, you know, what's the word? You know, I don't like to say lower frequency. That doesn't sound right. Sounds like I'm giving it like a qualification, like it's bad or something. But a slower moving frequency, like the root chakra, in comparison with the, you know, higher moving energy of the third eye chakra. It's basically said that at about the heart level, these ones have to do with bodily energy processing and life energy, and these ones have to do with higher, you know, heart stuff, more like emotions and spirit stuff and the mind, and also hitting yourself in the nose. Um, but that's not necessarily the case because they all have to do with everything. I get very upset when somebody says, you know, heart chakra, all about emotions and feelings, because that's not compartmentalized that way. When was the last time you felt something very strongly that made you uncomfortable that you didn't feel in your stomach? You know, it's like you feel it down here. Like that's, your brains are everywhere. That's why we use the three brain model, just to give it an easier way to, you know, just to give ourselves an easier way to think about this stuff. Um, yeah. So it's all mixed up together, but basically I think about this stuff in the regular chakra system model as having to do with physical energy and all of the stuff that we're used to dealing with, the senses and all of that. Beyond that, it's a little more esoteric and a little more, you know, like when you have the experience of the, yeah, it's a little more highly spiritual, I guess. Um, so yeah, I don't want to go too much further just because I want to do another video on this stuff and to talk about the different techniques. So I hope that makes sense. The real point I just want to get across is that it's incredibly important to do both of these before pretty much any practice. You want to really, as a physical healer, increase the energy that's coming through you. Do this practice before you heal a client. You will not be disappointed. This is not just a casual feeling the legs and then maybe some energy melting into the earth and now I'm grounded. I'm talking about all the way down there, baby. Like, like you will feel magnetized when you really get all the way down there. You will feel heavy and like practically unable to move. When you've really done that, when you really open up to this stuff, you will get flashes of enlightenment, energy, like big, like openings. All of a sudden, we're like, oh my god, I can't think right now. All this energy is pouring in. Like when you're having a really crazy download and it's obvious. That should be a meme. And so when you do that, and then you can find more balance, then bring it back down to the lower dantian as we always do, and sit there for a while after you've connected down and connected up. Then just connect into the internal stuff, and then do your work as you would normally do it. And the method for getting there, the actual method for getting there, is just to place your awareness on that thing. And I'll talk about visualization and stuff in another one.